This video is brought to you by Scout's Eyes. If you're a talented footballer and you want to get yourself in front of a scout, visit Scout's Eyes right now or click the link in the description.
Welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Just over 1 week left until the transfer window closes. We are closing in on the end of the transfer window, and things are starting to hot up a bit in the transfer window. You can see right around the Premier League, lots of deals being done, lots of negotiations getting really, really intense now, and expect a lot of movement around Arsenal in this last sort of week. First thing to tell you about today is that Mikel Arteta, the manager, closing in on a brand new contract at Arsenal. His deal's up in a couple of years, so it is the right time really to get him tied down to a brand new contract. The last thing you want to happen is that that contract starts to run down, Pep Guardiola goes, and then Man City start hovering around to try and get Mikel Arteta as the new manager. And of course you want to nail down the manager, because any players that you're bringing in going to be asking that question: are you going to be here? Are you talking about me coming here? Are you actually going to be here? So wise to do that. But Mikel Arteta closing in on a brand new long-term contract at Arsenal, and I think that would be good news. We saw the raging debate when we broke the internet last week, me and Yardman, when we were discussing who is the next best manager to Pep Guardiola in the league. I think it is Mikel Arteta right now. I'm just talking about the Premier League. I'm not talking about historic trophies. The guy that's most likely to win you the league after Pep Guardiola for me is Mikel Arteta. 2 years in a row now, he's been runners-up. Can he go that step further? Well, to do that, he may need some new signings, and hopefully he can get those in. There's also players that we know are going to be leaving Arsenal this summer. The one that's been linked all transfer window with a move away, and now it's starting to look like this is going to happen, is Eddie Nketiah. We know that previous bids by Marseille were turned down by Arsenal. They stuck to their guns. They wanted £30 million. Offers came in from Bournemouth. Offers have come in from Nottingham Forest. Turned down. But that now looks like we are getting near to a deal being done. Personal terms, we heard yesterday, between Eddie Nketiah and Nottingham Forest have been agreed. We know that Eddie's on big wages, but Nottingham Forest have agreed personal terms with Eddie Nketiah, and we are being told that they're getting very, very close to that valuation, that both parties, both Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, are very confident that a deal is going to get done. Nottingham Forest were interested in Santiago Gimenez from Feyenoord, but their most recent offer for him was turned down, and he doesn't want to leave the club right now. They don't really want to sell him. So it does look like Eddie Nketiah. Even rumours yesterday that he was clearing out his box at the Emirates. And Fabrizio Romano saying yesterday that we're in the final stages of that deal being done, and Eddie Nketiah will be leaving Arsenal. A player who came up through the ranks will be leaving and will be joining Nottingham Forest. So let's keep an eye out for that one, but that could move very fast in the next day or so. Another sort of Arsenal graduate, an Arsenal player that's come up through the academy that's leaving, is Charlie Patino. Saw this one yesterday that it looks like he's going to be on his way to Spain to join Deportivo La Coruna in a deal said to be worth £1 million. That's really, really low when I saw that. However, we don't know the details of the actual deal, but we are being told that there's a significant sell-on clause in that deal. So Charlie Patino, by the way, a really, really talented player, talented midfield player. Arsenal bought him originally from Luton. And I remember when they bought him at the time, from Luton's academy, he was looked upon as the next big thing, right up, coming up through the academy. He was being talked about. Like how we'd be talking about Ethan Nwaneri now, that's how we were talking about Charlie Patino. He's been out on a couple of loans, most recent one going to Swansea. When he was at Swansea, I remember I met a Swansea fan who said, Robbie, this kid's absolute quality. But it does look like Arsenal now are willing to sell him. They don't want to loan him out no more. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to get into the Arsenal team as it stands. And they're willing to sell him now. Deportivo La Coruna, £1 million. That's a giveaway, it's a steal. But with a significant sell-on clause. That means if he goes there, plays a lot of football, grows, Arsenal will benefit from that. I'm very surprised that maybe another championship team have not come in for Charlie Patino because he's such a talented player. But let's see what happens with that one. Mikel Merino, could this deal be done by the end of the weekend? Again, we're being told everything now has been sorted. Deal, between the clubs. We knew a long time ago the player had agreed personal terms with Mikel Arteta. Still awaiting the official announcement. We've been told for about the past 2 weeks. We've been told it's close. It's close. It's close. Where is it? God Almighty! This deal has taken ages to happen, but we are expecting it to happen. But still, no announcement on when exactly it's going to happen. Certainly going to be done. Not going to be done by the weekend, is it? He's got to come do medical stuff like that. It's looking like a deal that'll be announced or will happen sometime next week. Now, what about this one? This is significant. Victor Osimhen, of course, of Napoli, up for sale. Napoli want to get rid of him. We know that Napoli are closing in right now on a move for Romelu Lukaku. Antonio Conte is taking over as a manager. Wants Lukaku and is getting Lukaku from Chelsea. But what's happening with Victor Osimhen? Start of the transfer window, Napoli were like £110 million release clause. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. If you don't do that, he ain't going nowhere. That's the release clause. Take it or leave it. They've had to soften in that approach because this window, teams are just not spending that sort of money and are not going to spend that money on Victor Osimhen. PSG were in for him, but they called their interest, according to L'Equipe, the French publication. Chelsea have been interested in him, but the amount of players there, just saying, João Felix, are they going to go and get a striker? Who knows? But according to Corriere dello Sport, they claim that Arsenal have returned for Osimhen. They've made inquiries about how much Victor Osimhen will be and are interested in possibly signing him before the end of the transfer window. Now, Napoli are desperate to sell him, especially if Lukaku is going to be coming in the other way. However, they want around £85 million for him. Arsenal said to be willing to go to about 60 million tops, which is still way off what they are looking for. But Corriere dello Sport claiming that Arsenal are back in for Osimhen. We'll have to wait and see if there's any substance in that one. Certainly, if Osimhen leaves, it's probably going to be some sort of last-minute deal. Could even be a loan before the end of the transfer window. No, we all know Arsenal could do with a striker. Could it be Victor Osimhen? And then this one, we've spoken about this Ademola Lookman one, where he's been linked with a move away from Atalanta, Arsenal being one of those clubs that are interested in him, Liverpool as well, PSG. Now, according to the Italian transfer expert Alfredo Padula, he says that Arsenal are willing to pay £42 million plus Jakub Kiwior. We know he's been linked with a lot of clubs over there in Italy. So some sort of swap deal. Lookman for Kiwior plus £42 million. I just can't see that. I'm sorry. I can't see Arsenal. Number one, £42 million for Lookman. That's a lot of money, even though he had a great season last year and scored that amazing hat-trick in the final. Plus Kiwior, who surely also be looking for at least 20 to £25 million for. I don't know if I can see that one happening. But the Italian transfer expert, I'm not a transfer expert, I'm just reporting on it. He claims that, that's something that's been proposed. Let's wait and see. This one I've got to put to you finally before we go. Raheem Sterling. We've all seen the absolute mess over at Chelsea, and it is a mess. And when you see what's happening over there, you see why it's, you want to see your club do sensible transfer business. They are not. They just brought in Felix. I think they signed 12 players this summer. They're trying to move out players they only just bought. Raheem Sterling's one of them. Only bought him a couple of seasons ago. Paid nearly £60 million for him. He's on humongous wages of nearly £350,000 a week. Told this week, just before the season started, because they started to look at their books, that they need to get rid of him. They want to get rid of Raheem Sterling. Didn't have a great season last year, didn't make the England squad for the Euros. 29 now, getting a bit older, but still a good player. Now, would you take him at Arsenal? I think it's out of the question that Arsenal would buy Raheem Sterling. He's 29, valued around about 35 million. Chelsea would want at least, 25 for him, just to get rid of those high wages. But I get the feeling that you could see him maybe go somewhere on loan. There's been clubs like Juventus interested, etc. Would you take Raheem Sterling on loan? We need a winger. He's predominantly a left winger. We really need cover for Saka, but he can play on that right-hand side as well. Played with under Mikel Arteta when Arteta was at Man City. Would you take Raheem Sterling? We were having a bit of debate on it yesterday, me and Turkish. Would you take him at Arsenal, or is it an absolute no for you? Would love to hear from you guys in the comments. One of those that I'm putting out there to you guys today. And don't forget, on transfers, there's Talking Transfers coming out today on AFTV. Always a great show where me, Turkish, all the guys get to discuss some of the transfer rumours that are out there surrounding Arsenal. But would you take Raheem Sterling on loan at Arsenal? Interesting. Thanks for watching the show today. I'll be back tomorrow with more transfer rumours.